But here with Rogue having the numbers, a lot more roaches for him. Serral's arming a little piecemeal here, bringing in those lings for the body block. They are the meat shield here for these roaches. Dodging those piles very nicely, but Rogue still with that roach count. Serral coming in from two angles here. He just doesn't have the numbers.
Yeah, his +2 isn't quite done. Serral needs to pull back the lings, jumping on his fourth base. Rogue here catching Serral a little bit out of control. His roach drop, though, counter-attacking in the main base. He takes down the Queen. He's going to start dishing out the hurt on those workers, but Serral has to hang on at home.
He's just rallying here. There is a big defender's advantage in ZVZ, but he's trying to hold this position. He doesn't want to lose a base here to Rogue's attack.
+2's kicked in. Serral's got the upgrade advantage, finally.
He does indeed, and it's showing here. He's pushing Rogue back. The hatchery still stands on 1/3 hit points. Rogue deflected here by the reinforcements of Serral. The drop play still getting drone kills. 4 have gone down. Serral still with 3 roaches alive, and this Overlord Roach needs to keep an eye on them.
Great defense there by Serral, stabilizes both players, still very close in economy, but now with that upgrade lead there, it's Rogue who has to go back, kind of just sit back until his upgrades catch up. The +2 range attack upgrade so important. These roaches just being so annoying. This is what happens when you don't have any Hydras or Mutas out. The Overlords are so hard to shut down. We're going to hop into Serral's first-person view and watch the Master at work, multitasking as best he can.
Certainly here, he's just controlling this battle, which is, of course, most of his focus. But meanwhile, getting those roaches into several mineral lines at once. He's got burrowed roaches at that 4th base location for Rogue as well. Just dropping them now, but it looks like Rogue's defense is actually all over the place here.
Yeah,
drone's going down.
He's finding openings. Look at this. Every time the roaches get there, he just backs away and then looks elsewhere. He's got this drop. He sees there's roaches ready. He pulls it away. At home, still standing strong on the defense. This is where Serral shows his skill. It's always this stage where he can hit his opponent in several areas at once. Rogue is not mining in his main base at all. Meanwhile, Serral with 4 bases fully mining is hitting from all sides. And now he's going to push the front at the same time. Look at that. He doesn't let the roaches fall. He keeps picking them up and saving them every single time.
Serral is maxed out, and he's looking to press the issue here. He's roaches hitting that drone line again, and he even has the numbers here on the front line to take a fight directly in front of Rogue's face. The piles connecting, 16 drones going down behind this off screen. Serral still pushing this high ground. The reinforcements of Rogue having a concave on the right-hand side, but Serral wins the left-hand side, and he can reinforce here again. The Roach is still doing too much. GG! Serral takes game 1 here against the reigning world champion Rogue.
It's like watching a master dance around his opponents. The moment he hits those middle stages of the game, Serral's ability to control 3, 4 locations at once, it's second to none. It is absolutely incredible. Once again, even against Rogue there, you saw he just would not let those roaches go down in that drop. He forced so many units on the defense, and he just wasn't able to keep up. Rogue depleted his defenses on the front. Serral found the weak point, pounced on it, and just shut him down in that frontal engagement.
I love that opening from Rogue. It made the early game look very threatening there against Serral. But it felt like once it got to the mid-game and then an extra hatchery's worth of lava production didn't really matter anymore. When it got to that Roach headbutt stage, Serral just was extremely comfortable. It was very hard for Rogue to find any kind of edge there.
Felt like he was fishing for an overreaction almost, wasn't it? Hey, look at this weird thing I'm doing. I got the hatchery, I've got some Zerglings. But he committed a light amount to it, and I feel against almost any other player, you establish a worker lead from that. But here against Serral, Serral somehow defends this, doesn't overreact, ends up a couple of workers for most of that early game, and in a dead-even mid-game, it feels like Serral is always the favorite.
Certainly does. I think Rogue had a worker lead for a minute there, but of course, Serral just kept picking those fights, and that multitasking is just muy caliente. In the top left here, from Jin Air Green Wings, the reigning world champion. Give it up for Rogue! And in the bottom right, currently up 1 in the series, it's Esports' Serral!
Oh my, that is a 15 hatchery.
Goodness gracious.
Is Serral maybe gonna go for, oh my, yep, that's a gas. Wow. So this build is where you're trying to give off the appearance of I'm expanding and building an economy, but then you get a very fast gas, followed by a spawning pool. You make a whole lot of Zerglings, you hide them in the back of your base, and the moment they get that metabolic boost, that Zergling speed upgrade, you flood across the map. This is something I think a lot of Zerg players out there on the ladder have experienced, but you almost never see this at the top end of StarCraft. It's something Rogue has a very low amount of experience against, no doubt. And Serral here going out with what is a bit of a gamble here in this game. We're going to have to see if he can hide the information. Can he sell the story? Will the Overlord spot the creep at his expansion and just assume it's a normal opening? Because that's what Serral's hoping. He's hoping Rogue goes for a third base, delays his Baneling nest. If Rogue can lock up his defense, he's going to be way ahead. As you can see, there's already a nice little worker difference there.
Absolutely. I think this is such a brilliant move here from Serral, where clearly he's prepared for his opponent as well, bringing something a little bit new to the table. And the rush distance here on Parasite is so long that you can absolutely get away with an opening like this. Very clever.
That Overlord, by the time it gets there, it can't really tell the difference between a hatch that's about 15 seconds early like this one and a normal hatchery, of course, because the creep spreads had time to spread out quite quickly. So there's no real obvious tells on a big map, but it does slow down your rush getting across the map. Now, there is a second queen for this. Serral does have 16 workers. This isn't like a crazy 13 drone version. You know, he's still got some economy, but no gas mining behind it. There won't be a Baneling follow-up. He gets those 4 Zerglings to head out at what appears to be a normal timing. But to give off that image of the hatch first. He held those Zerglings back for a moment. And
there's a dozen more on the way. So they will start hitting the field here. Speed, 2/3 of the way done here for Serral. Rogue with a very regular opening. Has potential to hold on, but he's going for a third here. Misreading this opening from Serral.
Oh, an Evo chamber rather than Baneling nest is going down as well. This is not what Rogue needs. Now, don't get me wrong. He might still have the numbers, but he's building so many workers right now. And look at this. Serral has sold the story so well. The Zerglings are coming out to defend. The Queen going out into no man's land. Serral almost baiting that out. He's